I got my first camera as a grad gift in the winter of 2018. A lot of times I joke about the fact that my parents were going to get me an Apple Watch unless I could switch it to a camera, and it admittedly changed the direction of my life completely. But one thing that I don't tell people as often is the reason that I asked for that change was because I was having a difficult time finding beauty in the world. So I wanted something that made me go actively look for it. The whole reason I got into it wasn't to make money or to be popular or to create FOMO, but somehow that's what it's become. For many people I've talked to, they know that this was probably the most difficult, or not probably, this was definitely the most difficult year of my life. I lost my mom. I lost my grandpa. My grandma's in palliative care right now. I got robbed. Been dicked around by insurance for the last 5 months. This year sucked. And somewhere in there, I've lost the passion for creating things. It's all become commercial. It's all become trying to make something bigger than it's not. It's lost its realness. And for the people who are closest to me, they know that over the last 6 months, I've really been thinking about giving it up altogether. But I told myself that if I was going to give it one last try here, I was going to do it in a way that was real, in a way that was vulnerable and reflected the reason that I got into it. So with that being said, I wanted to kick off the year 2025 with the 12 lessons that I learned from the hardest year of my life. Hoping that none of you guys ever have to learn them yourself. Rule number 1, to everyone else, you are somebody else. Losing my mom, getting robbed, these were all things that seemed like they'd happen to somebody else, but never to me. This year solidified the fact that to everybody else, you are somebody else. And just that. So to not put yourself above the things that can happen to you. And the things that will happen to you, or hopefully do not happen to you, but things can happen. So appreciate the times when they're good as well. Number 2, love is not measured in the easy moments. I think for a lot of my life, love was measured either romantically or gifts or spending time or just having good times. But I don't think I've ever seen a truer expression of love than the moment I came home from the Philippines and my mom met me at the airport, and she didn't have much time left. There was so much less of her than I remembered, but she was there and she didn't have to say anything. She just held my hand. And then the days leading up to her passing, my dad spending nights on the couch next to her, refusing to not be by her side. Love is not measured when things are good. Love is measured when things are not good and how we respond to them. Number 3, sometimes shit just sucks. That's the unfortunate thing about life, is it's designed to be difficult. There's no point in pretending that it's not. Take your medicine and get back on your feet as fast as you can. Number 4, until you know, you have no idea. Set your priorities when things are going good, when things are easy, so that you can fall back on them when things are tough. Nobody truly knows. I know it's cliche, but nobody knows what it's like to walk in one another's shoes. Have a little bit of courtesy. Have a little bit of empathy for people. Understand that even if you don't understand it, it may be significant. But set those priorities early so you can fall back on them. 5, the key to happiness is finding joy in the accomplishments of those around you, not just your own. Your time will come, but if your entire existence revolves around what you do best and what you accomplish, it's going to become a pretty shallow one. 6, the moment matters. As much as we sit here and want to plan for the future, time is the only thing we're not going to get back. and the best laid plans often never come true. On top of that, life is just about making moments as it is experiencing them. I always used to think that people who put tons of effort into holidays and everything was kind of corny, but this year has taught me that those are the memories that you fall back on, and those are the ones that you share over a few too many drinks at Christmas dinner, and make moments, make special moments for you and others around them, even if it doesn't seem clear immediately. I promise those will be worth something one day. Number 7, you are replaceable to everyone except those that really matter. I decided at an early age when I started doing this for my own career and work for myself that I wasn't going to work for somebody else and build their dream. It's a really tough situation to realize how replaceable you are to people. No matter what you do, no matter what you're going through. It's not even a personal slight or anything. Just life goes on. Businesses have roles to fill. The only people who you are not replaceable to are the ones closest to you. And they're the ones who are speaking at your funeral. They're the ones who are bringing food when times are tough. They're the ones who are calling just to check up on you. Life goes on, unfortunately. But focus on the people who value you more than anything else. It's easy to get caught up in wanting to make more money or wanting to be the coolest or wanting to have social media fame or anything like that. But when push comes to shove, those aren't the people you're going to rely on. And they aren't the people who are going to need you most or miss you most. Number 8, it's okay for a relationship to run its course. I don't mean this as in you're better than people. I mean this as in not every relationship is supposed to last. Friendships, romantic relationships, not everything is built to last. There's a lot of lessons to be learned. Forgive yourself and forgive other people for the roles they played. But that doesn't mean you have to go back, and it doesn't mean things will ever be the same. That's just the human experience. Number 9, you are not responsible for other people's actions. The only thing you are responsible for is how you respond to them. Yes, people may do you wrong. Yes, you may feel slighted. But the one thing we all have control over is how we handle those situations, how we respond to them, and how we conduct ourselves. And truth be told, I've learned the hard way this year, that's the only thing worth judging. 10, the length of a relationship does not determine its value. I know a lot of people are day ones, or they grew up with people, so they have this big hole in their heart for them. But I've had people who I've met in the last year who have helped me through the most difficult times of my life. And people who I grew up with who I didn't hear from. And honestly, it's not even a bad thing. It's just the fact of the matter is life is complicated. And if you judge the quality of a relationship solely by the length of it, you're never going to develop anything meaningful. And you're never going to be able to appreciate people for who they are and what they do. 11, not every relationship is the same, nor do they need to be. I don't want this to be construed for using people for different things. But not every person is meant to be your best friend. Not every person is meant to be a client. Not every person is meant to be a romantic relationship. Understand relationships for what they are. Treat relationships for what they are. And I argue to say treat them a little bit kinder than what they are, but also understand that not everyone is the same. Find your people and you will find your purpose. Lastly, and I think this one might be the most important one that I learned this year, make an effort and be vulnerable. I know that's easier said than done, but this whole culture of being too cool for things or being too tough for things or not needing anybody, that's not what the human experience is about, in my opinion. When you're lying there in your last moments, it's not going to matter who invited who to an experience. You're just going to remember the experience. You're not going to matter who made what dish or who hosted what dinner, or who didn't invite somebody. All that's going to matter is the way that people made you feel. and the way that you made people feel. So be vulnerable, strive for connection, because that really is what the human experience is all about. I got nothing against things. I got nothing against money. I got nothing against popularity. But that can't be all there is to it. This year taught me that at the end of the day, all that really matters is those people and those moments and how they made you feel. The rest is just details. I know this is a lot different from the style of stuff I usually make, and hopefully I haven't rambled too much. But this isn't about algorithms. This isn't about popularity or anything. Too much of what I made in the last year is faking it. I just want to be real.